What is good, everybody? This is Ian Walker here with a brand new with a new video. Here, this is the first video of my channel here, IDWalkerNews. This is a channel where I'm going to talk about all the things that I care about, and sometimes the things that you care about or not. And I'm going to talk about those things here. And one of the things I'm going to talk about today is Aang, the new Aang Avatar movie, which I give a rating of. I'm gonna just jump out the gate. I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10 rating. Okay. Now let me just tell you something. The movie itself was fine. It was okay. Okay. And there are some things that I have, some beef that I have. I mean, first off, it took, apparently, according to some folks, this movie was announced years and years ago, and now it's finally come out on Paramount Plus. At first, it was going to be in the theaters, and then it was decided not to go in the theaters, and now they're going to put it in theaters. Apparently, Paramount doesn't like money, doesn't want that type of deal. So, okay, hey, they do what they want to do. It don't make me no never mind. I rather personally like the personal streaming stuff at home. Sometimes it's cool to watch something in the comfort of my own home, so I don't mind it too much. However, upon seeing the movie, the first thing I want to say, I want to give what's called the Oreo treatment. Okay, you got the goodness on the top, then you got the creamy filling in the middle, and you got the goodness at the bottom. Okay, so here's the goodness at the top. It was an entertaining film. Okay, it was an entertaining film. I will say it was one of the most beautifully animated um, films that I've seen in a very, very long time. I mean, it was gorgeous. The shots, the way they did the bending in the film, all of those things. It was a gorgeous looking film. The art direction in that, the art style was awesome. It was a nice little upgrade, which made it more adult, which I think fit in with the theme of what Aang was trying to portray, the more mature look, and it definitely had a more mature look to it. So I definitely enjoyed the look of the film. And like I said, complete, very beautiful. The characters in there were drawn very well. The whole gang, of course, is in there once again. It was good to see them all together. And it's funny because I just recently finished watching the Netflix Avatar and just finished watching the animated Avatar series as well. So to watch all of those things and then now seeing them grown up in this specific style was very cool. It was different, but grown up, more mature, and I really enjoyed that. Okay, so now here's the cream filling, the criticism, if you will. Okay, so going outside first, not talking about the movie directly. I want to talk about more of the outside aspects of the show. I was very upset that the original voice actors were not chosen to play these characters grown up. I don't think there's a good reason why the original actors were not able to play these voice actors again. I've heard people say, oh, well, they're grown up. They can't play kids anymore. Well, they're grown too. I mean, they can play that anything. Out of everybody who should have gotten a chance to reprise their character, because it's understandable if the person who played Aang can't play them again. That's a little bit more understandable. But if out of everybody in that cast who never should have been, it should have been a non-negotiable for them to reprise their role, was Dante Basco, who played Zuko. There's no good reason why he shouldn't have been able to reprise his role and play Zuko again. Those of us who watch Avatar, we know that Zuko, Iroh, that part of the storyline was one of the biggest parts of the story, and just hearing that familiar voice to me was huge. And I think the movie probably could have done better if the original actors were able to play their roles again, but especially Dante Basco. I feel like he's more the voice for Avatar. Just on a personal note, I've seen him more as the voice and more like the representative for Avatar. Seems to me on the animated side. So I would have loved to have seen him be able to reprise his role and play Zuko again. So for me, it took it away. Now, that's not to say the voice actors didn't do a good job. They actually did do a very good job. The new actor that played Sokka was actually really funny. The girl who played Katara, all of that. I mean, they all did a good job. But call me a nostalgia bait person. I guess I am. That's okay. I would have just rather have liked to have seen the older cast, one, get some more money, and two, get an opportunity to revisit their characters again. Okay. Another thing. Now, this is more directly related to the show, the movie itself. I had a huge problem. I have a huge problem in general with anime shows, and this is not an anime. Those of us, there's people who will watch Avatar. That's an anime. It is not an anime. It's Western animation, homage, love letter to anime and manga. Okay, so, but what I tend to see a lot is where another example of this is what you see in the My Hero Academia movie, You're Next, where Deku was extremely nerfed. He lost his powers and he was nerfed. He acted like he had never studied before, like he never knew what was happening, like he never learned to fight. None of those things, and it completely diminished Deku as a character. I feel they did the same to Aang. When everybody around you seems to have continued to train their bending skills, okay, but you being the Avatar, supposedly the most powerful person on the planet, the most powerful Avatar there is, seems like they're more powerful than you are. That's a problem to me. There's a couple of scenes in this movie. If you haven't watched it yet, you might want to stop now because I'm going to start spoiling this, okay? But there's a scene where Aang is climbing a mountain. My question is, why is Aang climbing a mountain? He's an earthbender. Why is he climbing a mountain? And he's putting in all his body and spirit. Why is he climbing a mountain if he's an earthbender? We have scenes where now, again, this is a time skip where it's taken about 12 to 13 years. We know as an airbender, Aang has created certain things that, made up his own skills and abilities as an earthbender. It's been 12, 13 years. Why can't Aang fly? Why can't the dude fly? That was one of the first things I said when watching the movie. I said, why is he not able to fly as an airbender? And that bothered me. That bothered me a lot. He used his avatar state every 5 minutes. The avatar state is supposed to be, so from what I remember and what I remember watching, is a very, is to be used in crisis situations. Because it expands his capabilities. It's a little out of control, but him being 12 and 13 years older, yes, he should have more control of it now. But my thing is him going into the avatar state to perform more powerful feats and seemingly relying on that seems like to me like the dude stopped training. He got peace. They got peace. They built Republic City, and he got complacent. It seems like, but everybody else around him kept bending. Everybody else kept training. Zuko was dope. Toph, I know y'all saw how yoked up Toph was. Okay? The earthbender, metalbender, she was yoked up. She obviously kept on bending. There's no, again, I have a real problem with the Avatar not being as powerful as he should have been after 12 to 13 years from when the series ended. He should have been a master of those elements at this time. And that was a downfall for me. And some other parts of the movie, there's a lot of plot armor in this movie. Things where Katara was in a situation where, oh, look, I ran out of water. Water's in the air around you, Katara. Like, how are you running out of water? And the airbenders that were around her started bending. I'm just saying, this might just be me. If you're an airbender, you should be snatching up the air of all the other airbenders that are around there, turning that into water and using it against them. That's a problem for me. That was a huge problem. Another big thing that really got my goat, and I'm gonna put this other picture up here, is of this guy. My guy here. Let me remove that. Remove from the studio. So I'm gonna put up a picture of this guy, Taga. Taga was incredible. Oh no, I don't have that on here. on the desktop. I don't have it on here. Oh well. Taga. Taga really showed to me how weak the actual Air Temple Airbenders were, the originals. The first thing, ironically, the first thing Taga taught Aang how to do was to fly. It was the very first thing. I mean, out the gate, he's like, hey, do this, learn how to fly. He taught him how to rip tornadoes and dissipate tornadoes. This is something that Aang should have already known how to do. In my opinion, of 12 to 13 years of peaceful training without interruption for the sake of protecting the people of Republic City and the world as the Avatar. This is something he should have already known. And with Taga coming out at the gate like this, so powerful, the way he commanded his airbending skills made Aang look like a child, and in fact made the Earth Temple, the air nomads before him or after him, look extremely pathetic and weak. That's just me. They were nowhere near as powerful as Taga was. And so, again, that's something that disappoints me, because the air nomads are supposed to be the peacekeepers, between all the nations, as we know. They even went further into that. I did appreciate how they went into that origin a little bit more. But they didn't. They made the air nomads look extremely weak. I didn't like that at all. I really didn't. And I felt that it kind of diminished Aang's story a lot. Another part that really bothered me as well was there were a group of people in the film who were given airbending powers. Okay, airbending abilities, I'm sorry. These fools was going up against Katara and Zuko and Toph like they've been airbending all their lives. Like they were born inherently with, like they were natural born air nomads. Again, a bunch of Mary Sue's given ability to bend for plot. It's like there's a lot of things that weren't well thought out. Zuko, Katara should have mopped the floor with every last one of those people. Aang should have never had a hard time with any of those people. So that bothered me. That was a problem. There's a lot of other things in here that really bothered me. But one of the things that really bothered me as well. Now, I'm a huge fan of Aladdin. It's one of my favorite Disney movies of all time. I love the entire trilogy of Aladdin movies. Okay, there's a scene in this movie, in the Aang movie, where it was a reimagining of the Cave of Wonders when Aladdin freed the genie. And those of you who watched it, you know what I'm talking about. They met this spirit pig, who pretty much was another version of Genie, who they fooled and got him to free them from out of the spirit realm. And it legit was 10 minutes of the reimagining of the Cave of Wonders scene from Aladdin. I thought that was the dumbest thing in the world. Especially when there was a scene previously before that where the person that Aang spoke to, I'm trying to say without saying, but there's someone that Aang spoke to that could have gotten him out of there. No problem. But instead, they decided to default to a reimagining of the Cave of Wonders in Aladdin. I thought that was very stupid. I thought it was very unnecessary. I don't know if they wanted to probably cut the tension, and so they created something like that for that. I thought it was really unnecessary for the story and very ridiculous. So those are my gripes with the film. Now here's back for the cookie at the bottom. Okay, the movie, like I said, it wasn't a terrible film. The only thing for me is that the story was extremely predictable. I paused the film in the middle, turned to my family and said, hey, this is what's going to happen. And I explained it to them, and that's exactly what happened. It was a very predictable story. There was a lot of things that weren't very well thought out. I was disappointed with how nerfed Aang was. And him being 12 and 13 years as the Avatar, as a full-grown adult, to me, there is no excuse for him to be as weak or lacking using his abilities like they could have. And I'm sure I'm going to get the argument, well, if he used all his abilities, the movie would be over, blah, blah, blah. Then learn how to write the story. Learn how to write around that. Okay, learn how to ride around that. Aang learned abilities that he should have already known how to do or learned how to do on his own, or that he learned over time through his other friends. There's no reason why he should have been as weak as he is. To me, that Aang was not the protector or the avatar that he should have been. And again, this is all just me. These are just my opinions. I'm not saying this to, well, this is this is just a personal opinion. Okay. So, but for the sake of animation, for the sake of the beauty of the film, for the pacing of the story, the pacing was pretty decent. I like the look of the movie. Um, it was great. It was beautiful. However, for the story predictability, for the lack of making Aang as strong as he should have been, for the sake of making the villain more powerful than Aang, making his friends more powerful than Aang. Oh yeah, there was another scene too where he was fighting some bandits and a fire arrow passed him and he missed it. It's like, why is he dodging an arrow full of fire? Somebody said, "Oh, it's a bomb." It was a bomb, though. It still doesn't matter. It's fire. He should have just and blew it out. Like, there's no reason why this should have been a problem for him in the movie, of taking on bandits. That should never be an issue for him. That should never be that. So that's my biggest gripe. And then the fact that again the old school cast was not used, and at the very least Dante Basco was not used to be Zuko again. I thought that was a disservice to one, the fan base, to Dante Basco himself, the rest of the crew who did the work on the movie. I think they should have been allowed to do that. Again, not saying that the new crew did not do a good job. They did a great job. I enjoyed it. It was fun to watch. They did very well. But I feel like that the old school crew should have gotten a chance to play. Anyway, I'm going to leave that here. Please leave your comments below. I know this is my first video. Anything that you guys want me to talk about, that you want me to go over, please let me know in the comments below as well. If you agree with me about Aang, The Last Airbender, or if there's anything that you want to discuss, please leave them in the comments below. All I ask is that you just please be respectful about it. And I will see you guys on the next video. I hope you guys have a wonderful one, and I'll see y'all later on IDWalkerNews. Deuces.